9397 Network and Hot 9397 presents Sapphire'S Soup du Jour with Just Bob, stirring the pot and serving the latest soup. Brought to you by Hey Love Saloon, Adam's Apple, Janet'sCloset.com, and Janet'sDungeon.com. And Hot 9397. Hey Love Saloon, Adam's Apple, Janet'sCloset.com, and Janet'sDungeon.com.
Oh, hi, everybody. All right, just making sure we can't hear the music on this. We're good to go. Happy Friday, everybody. Yeah. Oh, wait, turn that down. That way you don't hear it. So we don't get busted. Happy Friday. We got another 3 minutes until we get rolling here live. But we're live now, so welcome. Veterans Day. I got a great story for Veterans Day. It's the weekend. And also we're talking about keys to happiness. I'm tired of all the bitching. I'm tired of all the complaining. And I want to help you get happy again because we deserve to be happy. And we're losing sight of that. We live in constant stress and constant misery, and there's no need for it. So we're looking today at ways to be happy. And we're also looking at the impact that where we live increases or decreases our happiness and how we can go about that. And we talked a little bit about that last week, or I think Wednesday, about I was saying how, maybe it was Monday, when it gets cold out, if you don't like the winter, then you've got a choice to make. You can either sit inside in misery, or you can have the mentality, well, let's make the best of it and find some outdoor activities that you can do outdoors that are enjoyable. And so we're going to talk about all that stuff today. We got a good story about that. We're talking about Twitter, whole bunch of stuff. So. And I'm going to point out one thing that's very obvious, but it's right in front of our eyes and we don't see it. And we're going to talk a lot about that too, because things just don't seem right in the world today. And it's about money. That's what I'm talking about. So we'll see. We got another minute until this beep show gets rolling. But thanks for tuning in if you are. If you're not, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you wouldn't come and listen to this train wreck of a morning. My headphones are officially kaput. Ouch. So that means I'm wearing these. That means I can hear the music and you can't. You didn't sign up for the club. But you can join us in the club on 9397 Network's free app. You don't even have to pay to get in. It's a free club. All right, this is where it gets serious. Almost serious. Hey guys, Sapphire here. Be sure to download the free 9397 Network app. Click on the social network tab, chime in, and be eligible to win prizes. Download the free 9397 Network app today.
Initiating launch sequence.
And now, for the part of the morning we've all been waiting for. Don't go anywhere. We're starting off with a hot tub fantasy. Hot, steamy talk. It's going to be marvelous. One more sip of coffee before we get rolling. And good morning indeed. It is Friday. It is 7:05 a.m. Eastern Time. You're listening to Sapphire'S Soup du Jour, stirring the pot, serving the latest soup. Happy Friday. Couple minutes closer to the weekend. As soon as we get done with the pesky workday. But you know what? If you do what you love to do for a living, guess what? You don't even mind working. You may even work the weekend. A lot of people do work the weekend, and it's a very sensitive subject. We got a lot on the docket today. It is Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day to myself and all the veterans out there, but also the veterans' families, the immediate family, the spouses, the mother and father who worried about their child when they're in harm's way. All those people play a part in a veteran's life. And it's a shame how we treat our veterans in this country, but today we celebrate their service. And it is, we're going to start with a hot and sweaty story about a hot tub and a couple of kinky people that own it. But we're going to digress on that, and we're going to continue to talk for a few minutes about being a veteran of the military service in a time today where recruitment is very low. But before we get started, we thank you for joining us, whether you're in your house, car, wherever you are, getting ready for work. You might be at work. You might be in school. If you're in school, you're getting the wrong education. But a good example of how not to be in life is also good education. So there you have that. But no matter where you're joining us today, we thank you. Maybe you're joining us on the live stream broadcast on our social media networks. Maybe you're on 9397 Network's free app. Maybe it's on the 9397network.com webpage. However you're listening, TuneIn Radio, you can find us on that app, TuneIn Radio as well. The nice thing is on 9397 Network's app, you get to chime in and talk to us directly and leave us photos, G-rated, maybe PG, but we don't need to see your junk or nothing like that. But you can communicate with us. We're talking today about veterans. If you're a veteran, chime in. You can comment on our live stream broadcast. Tony checking in. Good morning from the great up north. Chris Black checking in. Good morning, Sapphire. Good morning to you too, my friend. It's a beautiful thing. Veterans Day, Friday. The elections are almost over. Nobody's life changed too bad. Right? Everybody seems to be okay. Yeah, everybody seems okay. So nothing too crazy happened. The thing is, my life didn't change a bit. So I'm sitting over here happy. I must be dumb. I must have my head buried in the sand because not all the people I wanted to see. I mean, I think in Michigan, I think the outcome was pretty cut and dry, but I'm not disappointed with what I saw. I don't know where we're going with it all. So it is what it is. But today we talk about a couple of different things. Keys to happiness. We're done with the misery. We're done with all the woe is me, woe is us, victims of everything, problems everywhere. No. We choose and put our lives in the way we want to go. And we're going to talk about that today. And how much does where we live impact our happiness depending on who and what not who we are, but what we enjoy, right? If you hate the cold, obviously, Maine might not be for you. If you don't like the heat and humidity, you might not want to go to Florida. So it's just a matter of what you like, but there's many more ways to adapt to. Maybe you're not in the place that you want to be, but there's still ways to combat misery and be happy, and we have to get back to that, and we're far from it. We're so worried and caught up in the competition of the politics and the competition of I have to be right, instead of sometimes we lose and we still want the others to win. Right? We want to win. We want to live in a good neighborhood. So we want our neighbors to win. And then we want our neighborhoods and cities and towns. It's an evolution of good or an evolution of stepping in poop every time you open your door. Then you're cleaning poop off your shoe of life constantly. So we don't want that. So we're going to help you. We're going to talk about things like that. How do we get happy? How do we remind ourselves to be grateful? Because we all know somebody who's either inflicted with an illness or a disability or someone who's died or something, right? So we need to be grateful. And we're not. We're miserable. So today, Veterans Day, there's no better way to start than a beautiful, it's a sad story, but it's a beautiful story and it's very interesting. Abandoned graves of Black World War I veterans has been discovered. And since it's Veterans Day, today's a good day to kind of pay respects to, let's think about this. This is things that, you really got to think about. Black World War I veterans. World War I was back, 1900 something, I believe, right? I don't know exactly. We can find out, but the story is not about necessarily history more than it is about paying respects and understanding the real sacrifice of people who were not even welcomed in this country completely, right? So, I mean, you figure if World War, and I don't know when World War I was. Maybe you can chime in the comments, either on the app, 9397 Networks app, maybe on Facebook, Twitter, wherever, because we're on all the social media networks, 9397 Network. So Friday, today, we are honoring the veterans, millions of veterans, as we celebrate serving our country. But here's a bittersweet story about an abandoned gravesite of Black World War I veterans. This is in Pennsylvania, and they called it a startling find that has the attention of not only the town, but the officials, right? And it was one pastor's exhausting mission to track down his family that led to the discovery of this abandoned gravesite. It's despicable for me as a veteran of war to think they were, in essence, left behind. Like, we're not supposed to leave. No one is left behind. You may not come home now, but we're never gonna stop looking. Well, when you say the word abandoned, it kind of sounds like we stopped looking. And it doesn't sit good with probably most vets, right? So a pastor's exhausting mission to track down his own family that leads to this discovery of heroes, war heroes, a hero before they were even allowed to vote or drink out of our faucets, use the white person's bathrooms. Yeah, that's crazy, I know. And if you're young, you're hearing things that you go, that can't be true. Oh, it's true. And it ain't a pretty part of history, but you don't erase it, right? You don't sweep it under the rug and go, well, let's forget about that part. That was the ugly part of history. Let's remember it so that we can do better. We're going to put in the work, all those cliches that we like to say, but we'll actually do it. All right. Reverend Richard Freeman, proud pastor of Resurrection Baptist Church in Braddock, Pennsylvania, I guess it is. Right. This is sad. This is a beautiful story to help us get our weekend and our Friday realigned with good grace. And I don't mean in the good graces of God. I mean in the good grace of gratitude, being happy to be alive and thankful for this thing we have that is so amazingly mysterious called life. Like, how does this work? But we are so worried about all these other things, right? But hey, at least we can abort our babies. Whew, ding, ding. 15 years old when his mother died. 11, he had already lost his father. So you're 15 and your mother and father are gone. And he said it created an emptiness in his life. Yeah. He said it's an emptiness that's rooted in the fact that you don't really know who you are. Right? That's pretty heavy. that stinks, right? I mean, that's like, dang. You think about that. I was blessed. My mother's still alive. My dad passed away in 2010 at the age of 67, way too young. But at least we got those good years with them. Not everybody does. 15 and 11. So now you are a young man, 15 years old, in the world alone. And yeah, you probably got raised by your aunt or uncle, and you probably had family helping, but that's different, right? Mom and dad are gone too soon. It's not fair. So anyway, Pastor Reverend Richard Freeman Sr. Signs up for Ancestry.com, right, to learn about his generational identity. Who am I, right? You didn't have mom and dad to tell you all those stories when you're an adult now, and it's different relationship with mom and dad. He never got that, right? So you're still in a different phase of life at that point, and they're gone. That sucks, right? So there's some gratitude there. This isn't about boo-hoo, cry. This is about, damn, as bad as I think I've got it pretty good. You got to remember, the homeless people in America have it better than some of the middle class, quote unquote, in our poorest countries. We have it good here. We choose the misery and agony. We choose it. All right? I'm serious. At my point of view only. So born in Georgia, right? This is where the Reverend Freeman was born. During his research, he was encouraged to look up from a relative, to look up somebody named Henry Porter, born April 3rd, 1894. Way back in time. 1894. Records show that Porter was enlisted in the Army and served in World War I as a member of the 402nd Labor Battalion. All right. He died when he was 39 years old as a resident of Pittsburgh's Hill District, but he was buried in a different township. Well, they looked at the death certificate, they saw the burial thing, and they went to find him, and to find out he wasn't there. However, several World War I veterans were buried there, even though Porter, the one he went to look for, Henry Porter, was not there. But he found grave sites of white soldiers. Then in a heavily wooded area, he continued searching for more grave sites for Porter, for he was looking for Henry Porter. That's where they found, in the brush, Porter's grave. So they went back in there. They find the white people's graves in the graveyard, and then out in the middle of the brush, forgotten about, not tended to, were the black soldiers. Overwhelming. Reverend Freeman said he was overwhelmed when he seen this. They found Henry Porter's gravesite among 8 other World War I veterans, abandoned, covered in heavily wooded, overgrown bushes, trees, whatever. That made Freeman angry. The Reverend was mad, furious. Black veterans that were in such disarray, discarded. Veteran. Doesn't matter whether you're boy or girl. Doesn't matter whether you're black or white. It doesn't matter if your last name is Smith or Rodriguez or Ali. If you're serving the country, you're serving the country. And if you're doing it for the right reasons, which 99.9% of the people are, whatever they are, they're morally correct reasons for the good of you or your country, then it doesn't matter, right? And I'll tell you what, When I was in the desert, we were in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the Marine Corps and the Army wanted out. They didn't care what I was packing in my flight suit. They didn't care what gender I thought I might be. They didn't care what sexuality I was. They didn't care about anything. Maxwell Klinger from MASH could have pulled in and they would have said, hey, thank you, let me out of here. So it didn't matter, and it doesn't matter. So this was a cemetery created in the early 1900s as a respectful and honorable place for Black people to bury loved ones. After multiple owners, the cemetery was abandoned in 1960s. So from the 1960s, so what is that? 50, 60 years, 70 years, I don't know. If it was I was born in 1968 and I'm 54, so 50 some years ago. Well, it's a shame. So today we're gonna pay respects to them, and we're gonna thank them for their service. And it doesn't matter that they were Black men or women that were fighting for the country. It doesn't even matter if they volunteered or were drafted. Maybe they were drafted and didn't even want to be there. What a bigger slap in the face. Forced to fight for the country that enslaved you, and then you die there. And then the big kick in the nuts is they forget about your burial and your burial ground, and they just let it go in disarray. Now, they did not say whether or not the rest of the cemetery was well maintained, but you would have to think people would go see their loved ones and would maintain it. I don't know. I could be wrong. But on Veterans Day, we have to learn another way to unite. And yes, there are veterans out there who served this country proudly who are racist, who are homophobic, who think women should be barefoot, pregnant, and in the kitchen, and they're the king of the castle and all. We can't change how people are. Part of our unhappiness that we're going to try to help unfold today is not worrying about what other people do, which means you can't erase the hate. You can't erase the racism. What you can do is not mess with it, right? Like Big Sean said, I don't F with you. I don't mess with it. Stay away. And I know it's not right. It's not fair that I can't go to a biker bar on a Saturday night and play pool with all the biker dudes because I'll be killed. Is that right? Hell no, it's not right. But guess what? I'm not putting myself in that situation. I'm not going to educate nobody. I don't need to. I stay away from that. I go where I'm accepted, right? And I will not go where I'm not even tolerated. It's not about, well, that's not fair. No, you do what's self-preservation. I was talking with a friend of mine last night, Kevin, and I sitting there on the patio at the Adams Apple having a nice adult beverage on a 70-degree day in November. Thank you very much. It was beautiful. And well, it was not quite 70, I don't think, but nonetheless, we're sitting there and we're talking, and everything is just everybody's so worried and spun up about stuff. And there's no reason. And we both being older now have learned our lessons, and part of our conversation was being where, because I was talking about, I'm not ready for winter. And, he says, I'm already set in. I got roots here. This is where I live. And it's very important for that. You have to be happy where you're at. But what about for your job? What if you're from the South and you love the South, but then your job makes you an offer you can't refuse, that you got to move north? Now all of a sudden you're in Detroit, Michigan in November going, what in the world is going on? It's too cold. I don't like this. Well, you got to find something to make it work. Anyway. I wanted to talk about that story. I know I digressed a little bit, and it's okay. I think you're used to it by now. Whatever. Graves of any veterans, no grave should be disrespected. If there's a cemetery, you can't just let it go in disrepair. right? Somebody has to take care of it. There's dead people there, family members. Now, what happens, and this is something that we can talk about a little bit. It doesn't have to be a big topic or anything, but what about Alante was right on 72 to be exact. 72 what? 72 degrees? Oh, maybe that's what they meant. Yeah. I'll tell you what. For November, it's been nice, but again, we're gonna, because I'm already looking forward to June. So we need to help me be happy in December, January, February, March. And I know March is going to be difficult because I'm going to be chomping at the bit. But when I go in my boat, I don't have to go in the water. So I'll go in the boat with a heavy coat on. Okay? I don't mind, as long as we don't have to go with an icebreaker first. So we're going to try to make ways to deal with the seasons. We're in the middle of the season change, right? We're getting ready now. So all the boating and the festivals and walking around town and walking the dogs and all those outdoor events coming to a screeching halt in the north because of the snow. Now you have other activities. Last night, we talked about renting snowmobiles, getting a cabin, renting snowmobiles, get 3 or 4 cabins. You still have your privacy, right? Then everybody gets around in the evening. You got the big campfire going. Then you can retire into your own warm cabin. So you've got electricity. You might even have cable TV in there, whatever. Whatever suits your fancy for relaxation. It's your time. You enjoy it your way. So I was talking about renting snowmobiles and go out on snowmobile paths. And some of us loved the idea. Others said, we'll stay back and cook. You come back after you're done snowmobiling and we'll have dinner. That's fine too. But doing things to enjoy yourself. We are the only animals on Earth with the construct of time other than I'm alive, I'm hungry, I have to poop, I'm dead, right? We're the ones who have to go to work, got to get Susie to cheerleading, got to get Johnny to soccer. Maybe Susie's going to soccer and Johnny's the cheerleader. That's okay too. All these things going on. Then all of a sudden we find ourselves doing what? Running ourselves ragged for everyone else, which is part of being a mother and father. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing that you don't appreciate the beauty of until you're older. But believe you me, when the kids are grown and gone, there'll be that element of relief because now you do have the weekends. Now you do have the evenings to yourself. But what you wouldn't give to have a little bit more of that back. And if we start doing what humans never have done and been able to figure out how to learn from others' experiences, we've still gotten to the point in human development that we have to learn for ourselves, right? I don't care how many people come before me, I'm going to learn the hard way. I mean, we see it every day in everyday life, in every facet. And you can sit there right now and look at the cubicle next to you if you're at work, and everybody's doing something wrong and everybody's doing something right. But I don't know where we at. 7:29 on a Friday morning. Time flies when you're having fun. We're going to go back in history a little bit. We're talking about something that I think the History Channel discovered during filming in the Atlantic Ocean yesterday. Little piece of history there. Not quite as important. Well, I wouldn't say that, but not quite as important as far as the World War I veterans, because it's Veterans Day. And we want to pay respects to the Black men and women, the Asian men and women, whoever served, and no matter what capacity, that you get paid the due respect. And I mean, it's the way it is. I say, to see people, we got to calm down when people say things. I got friends of mine who go, well, let's talk about the voting thing. So the other day I did talk about that. I got friends that had said, if you don't vote, don't complain. And I said, you still have the right to complain, in my opinion. See, and that's the beautiful thing. We can have a difference of opinion and it doesn't even matter. It matters not. None of us are going without food or money because we have a difference of opinion about something, because it means nothing. But I could step it up and say, if you don't serve your country for 4 years, then you don't have the right to complain. And then the next person could say, if you didn't serve in combat, you don't have the right to complain. And then the next person could say, my child died in combat. If you didn't die and give the ultimate for your country, then you don't have the right to complain. So in other words, we either don't have the right to complain at all, or we have the right to complain whenever we want. And guess what? I got great news for you and bad news at the same time. It's America. We have the right to complain. That's the beauty of it. So quit getting mad. And here's what it is. Social media. Social media is become, as Bobby Boucher's mother would say, the devil. It is now shaping our children's spending habits. It's shaping ours. I'm 54. It's shaping how I do things, right? I don't even have to leave the house. I get my makeup sent to me. I get this sent to me. I get that sent. I bought a boat. They sent it to me. I bought a motor for the boat. They sent it to me. I bought a battery, heavy, 40-pound battery. I don't know how heavy it is. It's heavy. Sent it to me. I didn't go to the store to buy nothing. I bought it all. They sent it to me. I didn't have to leave the house. I can get pizza delivered. I can get groceries delivered. I can get booze and marijuana delivered if I was a smoker. If you're a drinker, you don't have to leave the house. And we go, man, that's a beautiful thing. If you'd have said that in 1972, people would have been like, oh my God, this is amazing. Our lives are going to be so much better. Well, then why are they not? Why are they not? Because of us, because of me, because of you, because we buy into the misery of it all. Look at how many people really believe. Like I heard somebody the other day, and I hate to beat a dead horse about it because I'm pro-choice completely 100%. But I'm also against abortion. And yeah, you can say both, because even though I believe it's wrong, I would never make a woman decide. And that's truly what this was about. Let's really think about this. This fight about abortion is not about abortion. Abortion is a medical procedure. This is about a woman's right to choose. This is about equality for women, right? No man would look at another man and tell them what to do with their balls. Point blank. No man's going to, well, we don't talk about each other's nuts, right? That's what men would say. But we can talk about women's uteruses. And when you talk about abortion and whether it's right or wrong, you now entered religion into state. And what's the rule? You separate church and state. Say it again for everyone in the back to hear. We separate church and state. So therefore, even though I believe it's wrong to have an abortion, I know it's absolutely right for a woman to have equal choice. So don't confuse the issue. That's the way I break it down. We're not talking about a medical procedure. We're talking about her right to decide. And to me, it's hogwash. It's a medical procedure, right? You can't ban someone from having it. I just don't get it. But that turned into, I'm not going to let that digress from my topic. That turned into turmoil, unhappiness, disgruntledness, anger, rage, women screaming, I'm scared for my baby in the future. We're talking about the right for a woman to choose, because it sounds really sad to say, I'm fighting for my daughter's right to have an abortion. No, you're fighting for your daughter's right to choose. Abortion just happens to be what they're talking about. You see where I'm going with that? Maybe I'm screwed up. I don't know, but that's how I break it down. We're not talking about a medical procedure. We're talking about the right to decide if you did it or not. And you can't take a human being, because all people are created equal. That's where we go wrong. This is where we got to change things. We're going to end it right there. This is how we're going to change things. We're going to get the Constitution changed to the very beginning. It's going to say all people are created equal, not all men, all people. Doesn't matter what sexuality, what gender, nothing. All people are created equal. Changes everything, doesn't it? Man, it sounds like a perfect country to me. We're all equal. What's the problem? Why am I so happy? Because I don't buy into all this craziness. Does it matter to me who's president? Yes. I'm not so stupid to think that it doesn't matter. But does it matter to me? No, it doesn't matter to me. My money, I didn't lose a dime this week. I didn't lose a penny. I am a transgender woman working in the multimedia career field. I get my share of people with the vomit faces and the what the hell is that and all that. I don't care. That's your problem, not mine. Not even your problem. It's your prerogative, right? I don't know. I know I look crazy. That's all right. I don't care. I feel good. I was talking about looking crazy. Look at this crazy stuff. Hey, good morning. Halloween's over. Why are you wearing a mask?
You're so funny.
I'm kidding. Good morning, Bob. Thank you for joining us.
Early and unusually scheduled this morning, but you know.
It's okay. I know you got a lot going on. Remodeling the kitchen and your modeling career, nude modeling. I know that you're into that now.
Well, you know. Yeah. It's been a while, but I thought, why not, give something a try once more.
Give it a whirl. Oh, happy Veterans Day. I don't know, you're probably not a veteran, but Veterans Day nonetheless.
I am not, but I salute you.
Thank you. I was enlisted. Don't salute me. There's a fine for that.
Okay, well, I'm sorry.
We used to get saluted a lot because we had the flight suits. And the difference was we can't call it the blue cap, the flight cap. We used to call it something different. The see you next Tuesday cap. It looks like it's shaped like one. And so those with the officers in the Air Force, they had the silver lining. And people would see the flight suit and get nervous and salute us, and we'd laugh and never salute back because you enlisted.
Okay. See?
Anyway, thank you. We were paying respects to the graves of Black World War I veterans that had been discovered and abandoned. I don't know if you heard us talking about that at all. I did not. I just got connected and so that's where we're at, talking about that. And it's sad because, especially back World War I, what was that, 1900, 1910? Right? Something like that, yeah. You're fighting for a country that you're not even welcome in, hardly, right? I mean, true. So it's just terrible disrespect, and we're not going to allow that to go. We're not going to place blame. It's the way it was in society back then. We can't change that. You want to get mad about it, you can, but all it is empty anger that's never going to change nothing. So you go, damn, I'm glad that we've come far enough that we don't have that anymore, right? We're not where we need to be, but to sit there and place blame is more disrespect to them. Let's pay respects to the 8 that were found and acknowledge the wrongdoing and put them where they belong, So now you're frozen solid. I don't know if you're scared of me or what. I wanted to start with this one, but we didn't because I wanted to. We had to talk about the veterans. So we are at 7:39. When we come back, we are going to get Bob unfrozen, and he's going to be joining the show. We're going to be talking a little bit about some hot tub steaminess from a kinky couple. I don't think they're from Connecticut, but that would rhyme. So the kinky couple from Connecticut. Now, we're way past break time. You're listening to Sapphire'S Soup du Jour on Hot 93.97. Keep it locked. We'll be right back.
We're here chilling with Sapphire'S. Sapphire'S du Jour
Bob said bye-bye. All right, let's see. We're coming back at 8 o'clock. Woo, we went late. That's okay. It happens. We get to talking. Happy Friday, everybody. There's Just Bob. Let's see how this works out.
See if this goes any better. See, we're off to that kind of start this morning.
What's that?
I said we're off to that kind of start this morning. I can just see
Yeah.
I'm going to be more of a distraction than an assistance. So
No, you won't. We'll just make you part of the show like Joe Dirt.
well, good, excellent.
No. I got to drive all the way to Clinton tonight, which is by Tecumseh.
I was going to say that Clinton, not Clinton,
Not Clinton Township, where I'm at now.
Right.
An hour west of me.
Right.
Well, 2 hours west of me of here.
Right. Of here, yeah. Well, they're lucky to have your talents.
Huh?
They're lucky to have your talents and your dedication to go that
Thanks.
go that mileage and do that thing.
Thanks. Filming the Michigan Collegiate championship game. If they win tonight, though, I think they go to the finals at the Ford Field.
Okay.
Well, so I'll be filming hopefully them again. If they win, I'll be filming them Friday after Thanksgiving. They have the Michigan High School Football Championships. It's all day long. It starts at like 7 or 8 a.m.
Right.
And they play shorter games until the big schools play. You know, they might play 8-minute quarters instead of 12-minute quarters or something like that.
Sure.
But then the Division 1 and 2 and 3, I think, play full games that are 12-minute quarters. And it's good football.
I would say they got more teams to get in, and at that point, yeah, with the championship teams, then
There's 64 left in the state right now, and we're filming. Our clients are the top. Number one team is Dakota. We're filming them tonight. Number 4, I think, is Warren De La Salle. We're filming them. They're another one of our clients. Then there's another one too that's in the top. But then the one I'm filming tonight, they're number 44 in the state. They're Michigan Collegiate, and they lost last year at the Ford Field. I forget who they lost to, but
they have a chance at redemption this year.
Yeah, I hope so. I had their video equipment the whole off season.
Oh wow!
And when I finally seen them again for camp, you know, I brought it to them because they asked. They go, "Hey, you guys still got our equipment?" And I go, "Yeah, it's in my basement. I got it." Mm-hmm. He goes, "We didn't need that." He was so mad. He was like, after that loss, he goes, "I didn't want to see that shit." He didn't look at the video. There's nothing to look at.
Right.
So they lost, I think 6-0 or something like that. They were mad.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Which I would be too. You know, you lose, you get all the way to the championship game. It's a dream for football, it's different. With football, you don't play. There's no leagues just playing football, right? It's not just that easy. Right. So when you get done, you can join a softball league, you can join baseball, you can join tennis, you can do all these other games. But football, when you're done with high school, if you don't go to college, that's the last time you're suiting up in full gear.
Yep.
Pretty sad.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
So,
I mean, enjoy it for you enjoy it for what it is at that point in time, and you can't assume you're going to make a life out of it, you know.
Yeah, but telling that to an 18-year-old kid.
I know.
Who they're sitting on the bench at the end of their game, they just lost, and they're like, what a bitter taste to lose. Yeah, but at least you were there. Mm-hmm. You were the top 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the Super Bowl. You lose a Super Bowl. At least you were there.
Like anything, there's only one winner when you apply for a job, and there's 17 candidates. There's only one winner. Chances are you're not getting it, but you sure better fight for it, you know.
You got to try. It might add to your networking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Indeed.
We come back at 8. I can't believe it. Oh, wait. I already played Mama Said Knock You Out. Let's delete that. We come back at 7:56. You froze up again, poor guy. Must be cold there. You keep freezing up. Harley checking in. Good morning. I'm still in bed. I'm tired. Thanks for watching in bed. I appreciate it. That's a hardcore listener right there. I like that. That's so beautiful nowadays. It used to be got to get up, change the dial, find your favorite show. You didn't even know what your favorite show was because you only got to see what was available. Now you can go looking for stuff, right? And you go find it. Internet is where the radio is turning to. It's not the radio like it used to be. I mean, oh, let me do some work here while we're sitting here still. We are live until 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Join in the conversation. Don't go nowhere. BRB. I'm just staying right in the room. Oh, gotta stretch my legs for a second. My face is killing me. I know it's probably killing you too, but I mean in a different way. Looks like it's gonna be a rainy day. Rainy day, and I gotta go film football. Man, bite me. And I'm not the home team, so I'll be out in the elements unless they like me. Some of those schools, they're really cool to the people that show up, and they make sure that we got the press box access and all that. Some of these places, they're just complete jerks, and they try to get every advantage they can, so they don't want the opposing team, the visiting team, to have comfort and access to everything. And it's like, okay, whatever, man. Sorry about your penis size. Listening to What's My Name, Snoop Dogg. Alex Jones, we're going to talk about that. I got problems, people. This Alex Jones, another $500 million almost, like another $473 million in penalties or something to the families. And I know you're going to say, well, he lied about all. I understand, but we're not talking about that. You'll see. We're talking about this money stuff, where it's all going, and what's up with that. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. Delete that. Move this one out of there. All right. Got to line the show up, right? So it makes sense. Oh, I need banners here. Be sure to check out Janet'sCloset.com and Janet'sDungeon.com. I forgot to put banners up. Damn it. I could play a commercial too, shouldn't I? Man, I will later. So I found out how to ban people on this from that one person that keeps on putting up them links to their adult websites. And in order for me to be able to block people, I need to be able to have you authenticate through Facebook or YouTube. And I don't know that I want to do that. I want to make it as easy as possible. So I'm hoping for you to reach me. So I'm hoping that the streaming company that we use will do its due diligence and strike them, knowing that we keep banning them and they're posting illegal things on their page. right? I don't think you're allowed to post pornography links on a live stream. And if you are allowed to, you're not on this one, Bubba. Mm. 7:58. No, 7:55. We come back. Yeah, 7:55. So not too bad. We'll get back on track. Oh, and also it's Friday, so we do have a We Say Gay segment today. It's quite interesting, actually. It's actually it could be one of the biggest misinterpretations in the history of the world. Pretty freaking serious. Pretty freaking serious. All right, we got Big Papa. Then we're back. 4 minutes. Strap in, sit down, shut up, and hang on. Little Big Papa from Notorious B.I.G. Looks like overalls might be coming back into fashion. We're going to do a little Fashion Friday, steal this segment from the Good Times show. It's a picture of one of the Obama twins. We're going to update on what those ladies are up to, because they're ladies now. And it's weird. I didn't even know. One of them just transferred, one of the girls just transferred from the University of Michigan to the University of Southern California. I didn't even know that one of the Obama children were in Ann Arbor, Michigan, just 40 minutes from me. I'd have stopped in to say hello. Never had an invite, no call, no text, no email. Girl, bye. I'm questioning our friendship all of a sudden. Could have let a girl know you were in town, even though we've never met, and I'd probably scare the hell out of you. She'd be like, oh, one of them want to meet me? Great. I can hear the music coming through my headphone a little bit. So we don't care if you jam out with your clam out or rock out with your boop out. Just do it here on Hot 93.97 WHOT. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Ooh, I put lotion on his skin, but it's still a little bit dry. I was out last night till 7:30, and I got there early. I went to the Adam's Apple karaoke night at Adam's Apple. I'm there. I get there about 3:30. Have a screwdriver, and chilling out, waiting for everybody else to show up. And then we got into our game of Sorry. We played 2 games of Sorry. We actually live streamed it on my page a little bit, just for fun, just not promotional, but kind of. But look, we have a ton of fun at the Adam's Apple. And we know a lot of people can't be there on a Tuesday or Thursday or a Wednesday. So we like to live stream and say, ha ha, we're having fun and you're not. Just kidding. But it's just a fun time there. And then the karaoke, people love to go sing and belt them out, and it's a fun time. And so I was out last night, got home early. Then I don't know what happened to my phone charger, but girl, I woke up on the Chase Lounge in the living room at about 11 o'clock. I don't know how long I've been sleeping, but I went to bed and I always unplug my phone charger and lay it right on the bed, right there. And it wasn't there. I have no idea where it was. I had my camera bag out and everything, and I wasn't going to look for it all. So at 11 o'clock at night, I was mad as a wet hen, tired, trying to find my charger, phone at 57%, knowing I got to charge my phone or else I'm screwed. So I'm on about 4 hours sleep. Well, plus whatever I slept on the couch. If you count that, I do. Yeah. What? I'm getting my makeup on. Whatever. I talk my face off. Literally. All right. It's Friday morning. We're celebrating Veterans Day today, so we had a nice little story to get it rolling. But now we're getting into the heat of the day, if you will. Hot tub fantasy. You know them Dear Abbeys, they write in and they're trying to get a solution to something, or my so and so did this, or they've got a problem or whatever. This one starts off, Dear Slate, which we're saying Slate instead of Dear Abby, right? I just got a hot tub and I plan to have lots of sex in it. And I don't even care if the neighbors see me. I don't really have any questions to ask or anything. I just wanted to let you know. Okay, bye-bye. I plan to really enjoy my new hot tub, she says. It's not my fault if the neighbors see. We're not shy. Okay, let's talk about it. You got neighbors who it sounds like they're swingers. Maybe not. Maybe they don't swing, but they're voyeurs, exhibitionists, whatever you want to call it. Okay. They don't care if you see. Well, my first question is, are there minors involved? Because that adds a whole new light to the subject. We ordered a hot tub to be delivered sometime in November. My husband and I plan to use it during daylight hours without swimwear. Yes, nude. We have neighbors about 40 feet away who can see us if they choose to, in the tub or hopping from our patio door 20 feet out to the tub. We're not shy. We don't plan to cover up, and no, we're not going to, quote unquote, exhibit ourselves. We just want to enjoy our tub in our birthday suits. Some non-neighbor friends are appalled. Your thoughts. Signed, okay with being nude. I'm going to chime in before we read this other answer. I haven't even looked at it. Just because you're okay with being nude doesn't mean other people are. When you look down and see your junk that God gave you, or maybe you bought it from a doctor, whatever, don't matter. When you look down, if you're able to look past your belly and see what God gave you, then maybe you want to show it off. But not everybody thinks that Willy Wonky is hot and attractive, right? Not everybody thinks that. Just so you know. Nudity is illegal. And I know there's the thing about, okay, I'm walking through my living room nude, and somebody walking their dog looks up and looks in, sees me standing there nude for the world to see. Am I wrong or are they wrong? And I would say in a normal society, they would look, and if they're offended by it, they wouldn't look again. But guess what? We know is going to happen. If you see me standing there nude, it's like a train wreck. You just can't take your eyes off it. You're not sure what it is you're looking at, but you're not going to stop looking at it. Who's wrong? Don't look if you don't like it. It's America. I have the right to this. Well, you can't display nudity. So if it's a kid, you see, public, there's at any time a kid could walk by. So I think they're wrong. But I wasn't mad. So, yeah, the law is you cannot be nude. Public nudity is not allowed, and it extends to your own yard if it's visible to others. The biggest thing is children. I think it's literally crazy. It's numb to think it's okay. It's not morally wrong, but kids, people, I don't know. I understand that. I understand, but when it comes to public nudity, which is anyone from the street can see, then that's public. You're not allowed to be nude. But if you want to stand your ground, tits out, bush glistening in the sun, then you go ahead, right? Now, if you're not flaunting and you're not performing intercourse of any sort, and you're not like the guy ain't happy to be there, so to speak, the woman is not walking around or sitting there like she's waiting on the group to play, right? You're just out there enjoying the nudity of it all. I understand, but there's a fine line between being, I don't know. I don't know that there is a fine line, actually. If the neighbors can see you, even if they choose to see you or not, it's still, you don't want to, like, I want to be able to look out my window when I want to. I don't want to be like, well, my neighbors are out there in the afternoon, usually from 1 to 3 sometimes. So we're certainly not going to sell the house during those hours unless she's hot, to which you'd be like, that's like an in-ground pool. Hot chick who bathes nude in the backyard down the street or down in my back. I can see it from my bedroom window. The guys would be like, honey, we'll pay $20,000 extra for this house. She'd be like, but why? It doesn't even have the finished basement that you wanted. It doesn't even have the attached garage you wanted. It don't matter. We want this house. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me. You know it's true. You know it. Oy, oy, oy. Just absolutely silly. Non-sexual nudity is needlessly stigmatized, but who wants to see people like, all right, let's just be brutally honest. Nobody wants to see you walking around nude unless you're a guy that looks like you got 6-pack abs, but you've got to be properly fluffed. You can't be full mast, but you can't be right out of the freezer. And then you put a stigma on women because you go, well, they've got to have boobs and hips, and they got to have no belly, and they got to look like a Barbie doll, and that's not normal. So non-sexual nudity is still not something that public should ever have to deal with. It's not about sex. It's not about being sexy for someone. It's about feeling free. Oh, come on. How restricting are pants and a shirt? Really? I mean, it's like the old seatbelt argument. Oh, it's so restricting. So is a wheelchair. So is a casket. Right? People go, oh, you can't tell me to buckle up. It's my right. And we squashed that. That makes no sense, does it? We go, no, in the name of safety, you're a projectile in an accident. I don't need you bumping into me because you don't care about you. And that's an argument that's valid. And people accept that. You have to buckle up. You will get a ticket if you don't. You know the old thing, click it or ticket, the cliche, we got to ride, right? Protect your cooter, don't vote for Tudor. all these things. If you're not from Michigan, you have no idea what I just said. I'm from Michigan. I have no idea what I just said. But we like to have these click it or ticket, right? Take it or leave it. Love it or leave it. Click it or ticket. Wear your seatbelt. It's the law. Why do we put that into law? Because it's a public safety device, right? It's a safety tool to decrease injury and death in accidents. Same thing with other stuff, but we got to argue about it. And no, I'm not talking about the vaccine. The vaccine is not like a seatbelt. You could argue it is, but that's an argument. Seatbelts, they've never killed anybody. Now, if you cut the seatbelt out and use it as a rope to hang somebody or choke them, well, that's a different story. But then do you ban seatbelts? No, you ban stupid people from doing stupid things with them. We never talk about banning knives. How many people are stabbed to death every year in America? Because we talk about gun violence. Stabbing deaths in America. Let's see. In 2017, oh, wait a minute. This is Canada. What the hell? I don't care about Canada. We'll use Canada. Who cares? We'll use Canada. No big deal. In 2017, there were 203 stabbings to commit murder or death. Maybe they weren't murder, but stabbing deaths. 242 in 2021, up 39. I just did math in public and it worked. Oh, it did. I got it right. I love it. Ban knives? No. Stop letting people I see, again, you can't allow behavior that's jeopardizing the safety of innocent people because of mental episodes or psychiatric episodes, or maybe they're off their medications or whatever. Whatever the reason of justification doesn't allow the innocent to be put at risk. And that's where we have to walk that fine line, right? And there's other people going, I just want to go sit in the hot tub with the naked lady. Well, there's always that. 8:07 Friday morning. Didn't even look at what national day it is, but we do know it's Veterans Day. So, oh my goodness. All right. Since we talked about the hot tub, let's talk about when you're caught. See, I don't even know. Is it illegal? This story is very confusing to me, right? A woman is caught at airport security with her boyfriend's ashes concealed in her sex toy. It was given to Sarah Button by her late boyfriend. So she says she was wearing the sex toy going through security in the United Arab Emirates, the UAE. There's a problem right there. They don't have the same kind of laws that we do, right? Now, I don't know why you would put your boyfriend's ashes in your dong, but nonetheless, her TikTok video of the experience has racked up almost 5 million views, stunning viewers. The sex toy was a butt plug from the 23-year-old's late boyfriend. The sex toy was a butt plug from her 23-year-old's late boyfriend, which is sad. May he rest in peace. He's resting in your anus right now. Sarah's from Australia. She said, I explained what it was, but there was a lady worker in earshot of that conversations, which led to some back and forth between us, and the male officials did not like the vulgarity I was using to explain it. So I shoved my boyfriend up my butt because I figured he's seen the cooter enough. He's always wanted to be in there. Unbelievable. They took me and my friend aside without much explanation. They took my passport and my phone. They were forced to call her dad to call the embassy to get help. An hour later, a big official came and gave us a sign, a big long document, and said, if we went outside of the airport, we'll go to jail. Go ahead, tell me how bad America is. You got your butt plugged in right now? You're walking around? Guess what? You're safe. She said it was a long day. Hopefully it wasn't a long butt plug. Moral of the story, she says, is I was very ignorant of what I had in my bag and the words I used, their values, and I didn't realize explaining a plug like this would violate the person that asked about it. It was intentionally initially a joke because he had spent so much time in there and it was his favorite place. I'm not making this up. This is what she said on her TikTok. Sarah Button. She really puts the B-U-T-T in button, okay? My boyfriend spent so much time in there and it was his favorite place. I'm sure mom and dad are so proud. The nice thing is there's a picture of the butt plug. It is a beautiful silver with the inscription forever on it. Let me off the earth, stop the earth rotation, let me off, I'm done. And no, I don't want to go to Uranus. The sex toy was a butt plug from her late boyfriend that she was carrying through the airport with his ashes in it. The conversation from the fireplace mantle at Thanksgiving when someone looks up and goes, now that's an interesting looking urn. Do tell. And then you'd start out with, you ain't going to believe this crap. Oh, I don't know where I get these stories, and I don't know why we go through these like this. But Sarah Button, I mean, I ain't mad at her. And I know all the guys are like, she likes what? Oh, you can just walk around with it in there and it's comfortable? She said, this is a little creepy. We lost touch for a little while. And during that time, he passed. And unbeknownst to me, he knew he was passing and he had it in a box and I received it at his funeral. Unreal. I like that I can take him with me to places we've only dreamt of going. There's guys dreaming of taking you along with them too, and taking them along with you, whatever. Wow. She's young. Her parents must be so proud. My life has changed a lot, she said, and I wish he was here to see it, but I'm glad I get to take him with me to places like the Great Barrier Reef and concerts of bands he loved. We're going to see Bring Me the Horizon in December. Now, the romantic gesture, they call it. How romantic is it to have your ashes put into a butt plug, inserted into your girlfriend's butt, and busted in security at the UAE? This is the life we live. One person wrote in, I have some adjustments to make on my will. Oh, I'm carrying your love with me deep in my bowels. I don't even know. I don't even know how to react to that. I'm not mad about it. I don't. Every time you look at that butt plug. Now, here's my question. Okay, they're young. They're in their 20s. Whatever he died from, he knew he was dying. Horrible, horrible, sad, terrible. More reason to be grateful for the life that we live. But okay, looking at her, she's a young lady, she's attractive, and she obviously likes it in the poop chute. All right. Well, now people are thinking, well, and I'm sure mom and dad are like, oh my God, kid, what the hell? Now you meet her. Years have gone by, 5 years. So it's, the butt plug is on the mantle. You can't just put it in the sex toy drawer, right? That's disrespectful. So you have to put it on the mantle or on your nightstand. And now, how weird is that? Your legs up under your new boyfriend, and he's going to town. The headboard's pounding on the neighbor's side of the wall. They're pounding back, which makes you guys in rhythm more. You want to speed up a little. And he looks up and he sees the butt plug, shiny silver, glistening in the light, forever, with the ashes of your ex. I just don't know. I just don't know. I don't think I could handle it, but you can't be disrespectful, right? You don't just put the butt plug away or where you're hiding it. Or do you do the butt plug while he's, and then it's kind of like a threesome, right? Now you've got the butt plug filled with your boyfriend's ashes and your other boyfriend in the other hole. I mean, it's a safe way to do the threesome thing without the jealousy. But I don't know. I think that's a little much. But you heard it here. You would never have heard this story anywhere else. I'm looking at the butt plug once again, and it's a real nice one. I don't know much about butt plugs, but it's certainly not going to go inside you and stay in there forever because it's got a large base. And it's like a stand. I mean, it's got a 4-inch round base on it. It's not, don't worry, it's not falling in. Literally a 2x4 almost tied around the end. Remember that old thing? Tie a 2x4 on the end of your butt so you don't fall in. Or you can just use an oversized butt plug. Oy, oy, oy. Between the hot tub kinky couple and the butt plug wearing security breacher, it's all hardcore. Speaking of hardcore, when we come back from break, we're talking about Alex Jones, the lawsuit and the payouts, and where's that money going? And how does that sit with us when we're talking about the lottery monies paying out? We're talking about these fees, who gets it? It's a little twisted. We're going to be getting through it, though. You're listening to Sapphire'S Soup du Jour on Hot 93.97. Keep it locked. We'll be back after this music break. There we go. Little Pussy Control from Prince. All right, going to break for a few. We come back and I got work to do. I'll let you know when we come back on the screen here, on the banner, on the running across the bottom. Until then, we'll be right back. Won't take long.
Welcome to Adam's Apple, your neighborhood LGBT bar serving all your favorite drink. With friendly and knowledgeable bartenders that keep the party going and make sure your needs are met.
It's the cheers of the gay bar. Your bartenders know who's coming in, where they're going to sit, how long they're going to be.
Kick back and enjoy some fresh air on their large enclosed heated patio. Open year-round with music and weekly barbecues. Karaoke every Thursday night where you're the star. And Mexican Fiesta on the last Monday of every month. Located at 18931 West Warren, Detroit, Adam's Apple.
don't know what happened. I removed myself from the stream. You there?
Hang on a minute.
I see ya.
I hear you through the headphones that I'm not wearing right now. So
There you go.
There you are. There you are. All right. I am hoping that I have addressed this cluster for the last time. I went through and I just totally reset everything in the computer.
Okay.
And I went to the hardwire instead of using the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi works for everything else, but for some reason, StreamYard, it gets pissed off.
Yeah,
So,
it recommends the StreamYard be plugged in.
yeah, well, I dug out the plug because I haven't used the plug for anything in some time. I had to find it, but I did find the plug and the. So now we're plugged in the modem because I've got 8,000 feet of cable. I mean, I could run this thing from inside the pool on the Ethernet if I wanted to. I mean, I got that much cord.
Nice.
So we're hooked into the modem now. And the router. So hopefully, that was the last. The day is just not starting well. They're ripping up the floor right now.
Huh?
They're ripping up the floor as we speak.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They are underway. All right, let's see.
We got till 8:43 we come back. Like 8:41, 8:42.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
Well, good. Maybe I can get my allergies under control. Because that's been the other thing. I've sneezed, I think, 306 times this morning already.
I don't know why.
It's nuts. Well, there's all kinds of dust and stuff going on here, but
I'm looking at the races for the governors or the Senate and all that. I don't understand how they say the Republicans have a slight momentum. They're creeping toward a majority, but when you look at the races, 2 of the 3 races are being won by the Democratic side. And the one that's not being won by the Democratic side is the one in Georgia that's going to be a runoff. So I don't know how they're getting a slight, it looks like it's a slight lead for the Democratic side.
well, unless they're still projecting off of Arizona and Nevada that aren't done yet,
Yeah.
and they're saying, I guess those were supposed to be leaning Republican. So if they're counting those in the, who knows?
Yeah.
But they might be counting those in their assumptions.
Yeah, I don't get it. Because I'm sitting here trying to figure it out, going, well, I'm looking at it,
Right.
and I'm on CNN. I gotta go on Fox in a minute. But I don't see how they're coming up with. So you got in Arizona, you've got Kelly up 51.7% over Masters 46.1%.
Right, but what they were saying about that was that what was yet to be counted was supposed to be heavily Masters and hopefully enough to swing it. They said what they hadn't counted yet was very heavy.
Now Nevada changed because the other person was winning. And the Democrat was winning. Now they've got the Republican winning 49% to 48%. But is it a state law in Nevada that if they don't get 50%, they got to have a runoff too, or is that just Georgia?
Yeah, I don't know.
But I don't know. And the thing for me is if the Republicans take the majority, then there'll be gridlock in Washington, D.C. for 2 years. They won't get anything done. And I don't like that. We need things done. This is not a time for stagnation. We need action on a lot of things.
Yeah, we've been playing this game for some time now. We need to move forward. And
so I don't know. Oh, Lordy, I'm tired. Rough night. Man, I only got like 4 hours sleep because I was looking for a phone charger at 11 o'clock at night.
okay.
Yes.
Well, no, I started out by forgetting to set the alarm this morning. I knew that Brian's got the day off for Veterans Day, and I wasn't working in the morning, so I was actually planning on being here for like the entire thing. And all I had to remember to do was set my alarm clock on my phone, which I do every single morning. And for whatever reason, I forgot.
Yeah. I noticed.
I forgot. So, now what's it doing?
I'm just looking through all this. Looking through all this. Oh, the student loan forgiveness thing was shot down.
Saw that.
Yeah.
Saw that.
Which is no surprise. That would be fine. That one of those things where Biden can just say, I tried. I mean, I tried. I did my part.
Right.
But I'm not so sure that loan forgiveness is the answer. How about we just get rid of the interest? Ooh, government don't like that.
No.
Oh, you must be crazy.
What are you seeing on your screen right now? Are you seeing a big black box with a twirling circle?
I see you sitting there going like this.
Really?
With the brick wall.
Huh.
Is that what you're seeing?
Well, I'm seeing that at the bottom corner, but on the big screen, I'm just seeing a twirly circle, which is dumb. Maybe that's just here. Well, I don't have to look at myself. That's fine.
Well, we want to see you, though.
Well, but I mean, if you're seeing it
see
on
you.
the... Yeah, well, if you're seeing it, then it's transmitting, so I don't know why it's... what the settings problem is here, but let's try something else then. Let's try this.
All right, we're back on a Friday morning. It's election week in America. We've switched it up. The election lasts longer than Thanksgiving.
Seems to
Amazing.
anymore. Yeah, seems to anymore.
What do we have to be thankful for? A whole lot. What are we thankful for? Nothing. We're miserable. We're going to help you get through it, though. We're not done talking about how to get through. We're going to be happy by the end of the day.
I like that. That's a good thing.
You got my money?
You got
Meet me in the alley.
Oh, is that where it's going? Okay.
That's where it goes. Alex Jones ordered to pay nearly $500 million to Sandy Hook families in additional damages. So that puts it over $1 billion. A Connecticut judge Thursday orders Alex Jones to pay an additional $473 million in punitive damages over the lies he told about the 2012 Sandy Hook elementary school shooting. Now, here's my problem. Connecticut Superior Court Judge Barbara Bellis awarded the families over $323 million in common law punitive damages for attorney fees and $150 million in damages under a state law called the Connecticut Unfair Trade Practices Act, which prohibits unfair competition and deceptive acts. $473 million awarded in punitive damages, to which $323 million goes to the attorney fees. No wonder the attorneys want that case.
Well, sure.
It ain't about what's right and wrong, Bob.
No, it always comes down to the almighty dollar.
So out of $473 million, the families get $150 million. The attorneys get $323 million.
Right, but nobody's going to get any of it because I'm sure
The
he doesn't
lawyers
have
will.
it.
You can
Well,
bet
I'm sure he
your
doesn't.
butt.
Well, I'm sure he doesn't have it, so I don't know how they think they're going to get it. But
Yeah. So now out of the $150 million, pay the taxes, $80 million left. Out of the $80 million, you got all the people that were affected by it. So you've got $1 billion, you got a $500 million lawsuit that the people are going to get $1 million each.
okay, and this is all. What actually drove? What were the lies? What did he do that really sparked this, other than speak?
Called it a hoax.
Okay.
Called the shooting a hoax.
Well, so he's an idiot.
Right.
So
And they're holding them to it.
well.
Now, this is in addition to the $965 million a jury awarded 8 families last month.
I don't know. I'm failing to make the mental connection here somewhere. That
So over $1 billion.
yeah,
And what
it's wrong. It's wrong for a lot of reasons. Yeah,
26 people were killed in the mass shooting.
right.
He said it was staged and that the families and first responders were crisis actors.
So the guy's a Looney Tune, and he's talking. Looney Tunes talk sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is about, right? It's about what he said.
It's about what he said.
Okay, well,
His lies prompted unrelenting harassment against the family members and compounded the emotional agony of losing their loved ones. So the attorneys get $330 million of the $470 million. And that's supposed to make me feel okay. Justice was served. My butt it was. It's unclear how much money the plaintiffs will ultimately see.
very little. Like I said, you can award whatever you want in these cases to make your point, but it still comes down to whether the person even has access to the resources to pay it through. I mean, it's not like if he defaults on it and can't pay it, that they're just going to pay it for him out of the government so that the people that won the award get paid. That's not going to happen.
Man, I mean, on one hand, you can bring up freedom of speech. You're
Well, this is-
allowed to say things, but again, he's a journalist. Well, I don't know if he's a journalist or not, but he's a talk show host. And
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, he knowingly lied. I guess he admitted to saying, like, I knew that it wasn't a hoax, but I said it anyway. I guess. I don't know. But
Do we not say things for controversy on talk shows all the time?
I know that's my point. It's like, how is it just because it's so egregious that they decided to do that? But what does throwing the money at it do? Because you could say, well, the money's going to be used to educate people. Educate them what?
No.
It's a mass shooting. What are you going to educate people about? The money, if $473 million, and they were splitting it between the people, okay, but no. Out of the $473 million, over a third of it, or 1/3 of it, is going for attorney fees.
I guess the fact that it even went there in the first place. I mean, it was, when you go to the freedom of speech side of things, yeah, it's very wrong. It's very hurtful. It's very all kinds of things.
Mhm.
But
But is it criminal?
is
And
it
it is,
criminal? Well, or is it? I mean, is it even illegal? I mean, to what extent? I mean, what other than what you can't prove the impact of emotional damage because that affects everyone differently. What do you really have? I mean, you've got a guy with a big mouth, and you chose to buy into the bull crap instead of not listening to it.
Yeah. And at what point? Then you can even say, "Go ahead." I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say. To me, the whole situation just seems, the fact that it's a lawsuit, let alone the amount of money that they're quote awarding, which they're not going to get anyway, just seems ridiculous to me. That's. And I'm not trying to be insensitive. The last thing I'm trying to do is to be insensitive to those who lost their loved ones. But that's not really the point of...
No. In fact, you're defending them, saying they should be getting more of the money.
Well, they should be getting more of the money if there's money to be gotten, which they're not going to get. But
what does the money solve other than you shouldn't have said that? It doesn't bring the people back. It doesn't... I mean, I don't know why the large amount of money, but we just throw these around, punitive damages, and it's like one person paying $1 billion because they said something was a hoax. It just seems extreme, even though the families have the right to be upset, and
sure,
he did something that was completely immoral, kind of, right? Even if you feel that way, you don't use your platform to spread pain and misery to people.
Right, but you only have a platform if people pay attention to you.
True, that's right.
If people don't pay attention to you, if they say, "Oh, you're full of crap," and they turn you off, all of a sudden you got no platform. You're standing there by yourself talking to an empty room.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely true. And
so
we allow it.
We allow it, we enable it, and then we want to get paid for it. And it's like, I don't know. Just the whole thing is just
it's the same thing with the election. The big lie, right, for 2016 and 2020. 2016, when Hillary lost, everybody said, no, she didn't lose. She won the popular vote. That's bull crap. So there was an election denial there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, nobody stormed the Capitol, but there was an election denial there.
Okay, but storming the Capitol... Yeah, well, storming the Capitol, right, was a crime. Whereas denying the results or whatever is no crime.
Or is it? Because he denied, and even though it's heinous when a bunch of children died, is it illegal to voice your, I don't know if it's an opinion or not, because what they're saying is he lied about it. So he knowingly said things or whatever reason, knowing it was wrong. So there's a level of responsibility that goes with sitting in front of a microphone. But where does my responsibility of truth end if I'm not a quote unquote journalist? I'm just somebody in here talking, trying to entertain people, giving my opinion. Or am I like you work for the news, you're a journalist, you're a reporter, you got to report fact. You can't get on the TV or the radio reporting what might be fact. I love the background noise there.
We're gonna take care of this right now, but no. And again, but don't they do that anyway? I mean, they're supposed to.
Yeah, I mean,
they're supposed to be reporting fact, but are they? As they constantly interject their opinions and popular thought into it, that's not really true reporting either.
Right. No, but at least the facts are the facts.
Well, and
the opinion.
Well, the facts are the facts, regardless of whether some Dumbo is on spewing otherwise or not. The facts are the facts.
Yeah, and it leads me to the question of the money. Am I the only one with the problem with the lawyers making $323 million off of something that obviously there's no way in the world you can tell me that your $400 an hour fee or whatever equated to $323 million of time spent. There's no way in the world I believe that ever.
No,
Let's do the math.
Right. Well, and
Shall
again, yeah, shall we? And I'm assuming that I'm educated enough not to understand why this was even brought as a lawsuit to be, of this magnitude. When again you have the whole thing of freedom of speech and the right to not listen. So clearly I'm missing a link or two. So I totally acknowledge that. But again, I am, probably a lot of other people are too.
So, in order for you to justify, let's say it's $450 an hour. I don't know what legal fees are now, but let's say it's $450 an hour for your legal services. So every hour you spend on my case is $450. Do you realize that you would have to spend 717,717 hours? No, 717,777 hours on my case to justify $323 million. Do you really believe that they spent 717,777 hours on the case? Because if you believe that, you would have to believe that 24 hours in a day, they've spent 29,907 days on your case, which you divide that by 52, that means they spent 575 weeks on your case. Divided by 12, that means they've spent 47.9 years on your case to justify $323 million. 47 years on your case. But we're okay with Alex Jones being charged that money, but we're not seeing the highway robbery going on here. $323 million in attorney fees for what? What did the attorneys do? They did not spend 49 point some years on this case. So what the hell are we doing? We got in the wrong business. We're being bamboozled.
Right. Well, the whole thing is, to me, sham top to bottom.
Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. This is just the one thing. What about the other 900 million? Almost 1 billion. What about how much of that did they get? It's safe to say they got 30% of that as well. So 970 million, a third of that is 600 million. So this law firm has raked in $1 billion.
But are they going to get it unless the guy wins the Powerball? I mean, where is he? He's not going to have that money.
No.
Where's he going to get that money?
There's no money. There's no money to take.
Right. So in other words, now we've wasted all this time and projected money on something that's fantasy. It's not even going to happen anyway.
Well, I don't get it. I don't understand how this is just like, it just rolls off our tongue. Hey, we're giving 400 million to Ukraine. Hey, we're giving 300 million to here. We're paying 300 million for infrastructure. Where's this money come from? It's so easy to just say, hey, like you said, Alex Jones will never be able to pay back $1 billion. So
right. So the whole thing is a joke and a waste of time.
Yeah. But for the families that are involved, I understand. Well, I mean, for what we can understand. Understand, not having gone through it.
I get that. And that's why I said before, and I'll say it again, not trying to be unsympathetic or in any way disrespectful to their situation and to what happened to them and to their loved ones. I get that. But I don't get this whole crazy award that's never going to get paid, that's never even going to happen, and questionable whether it was even allowed to be a lawsuit based on freedom of speech and your right not to listen to it. So the whole thing from beginning to end just kind of leaves me with a bunch of question marks and weirdness in my head. It's like, this just doesn't even really make any sense at all.
I agree. I mean, I understand what he said and everything, but I'm confused by the legality of it, I guess. I'm confused as how this became, beside unpopular talk, how it became a civil issue where they're in court figuring out how much money it's going to cost you
Right. Well, I guess that's where I'm in the same place. How did this? Why was it even quote illegal? What law and what under what did he violate other than speaking disrespectfully and
Right.
and provoking thought that is unpopular? What was the crime, and is it justified to that magnitude?
I mean, good question. And it's very confusing, but
Yeah.
as we
And I,
know, the bottom line, it all boils down to that money. And we're
Well,
talking
sure.
$1 billion. $1 billion.
No, and I'm coming at it from, again, the point of clearly educate me some more, please, because there's something I don't get here. And if I do get it, then I stand by what I'm saying, that maybe the whole thing at the very beginning should never have happened. The suit should never have been allowed. I don't know.
So fill us in. What's going on in the background? We hear the hammer. Is the floor been coming up or what?
They're tearing things up right now in a big way, and I didn't think they were starting quite this early, but they're early risers here. But by the end of the day, there's supposed to be a whole new floor in there, so we're gonna see what develops here, and I'm gonna go on mute as much as I can, or I'll go away, one or the other.
Yeah, go on mute. Right. I hear you. Mute when you're not talking. Princess checking in. Happy Friday. Yes, it is. Happy Friday. You can check Princess and Cujo out on the Good Time Show from 4 to 7 during the week. Yeah,
Absolutely.
check that out. A lot of things going on. We had a meeting the other day. They got more shows joining the network. They're filling it up. So there's going to be a lot more happening. But we're not the only show in town. You go on this network and there's a lot going on. You can watch our shows. If you've missed anything, you go in the TV part of it. You go in the radio part to listen. You got the Good Time Show. You got the Ty's Takes on the weekend. A lot of stuff going on.
There's been a lot of behind the scenes stuff too. Again, with the technology and the video and all the shows being now able to be streamed and reached anytime. So it's all very cool.
Yeah. I was in the green screen room this morning doing my video because I'm bored with sitting right here in front of the TV or in front of the video going, hey, watch, listen and watch. So I tried to do a couple different things. Today was a generic video. Today we can play it any day. It's not one of those, hey, happy Wednesday or happy Friday. It was more of, if you ain't listening, what's your problem? Tune in, get with the program.
Are you doing a not for prime time version?
No.
Not yet, anyway. You haven't thought of a good one yet, I'm sure.
No, I haven't. I'm working on it. Yeah, working on it. We're going to be talking in a little bit about how to be happy again. All these things that we get distracted by that chips away at our happiness. And most of it, like we're worrying about these elections. Do they affect us? Yes. But they don't affect us as much as you allow them to if you really just get off of your square about them. There's no reason that any of these people dictate your happiness. And I know you can argue, well, what if you're gay and you can't get married? You can't fix that without a vote. And I'll be honest with you, I don't see how they could strike that down. Now, the Supreme Court, possible of anything. But until it happens, quit worrying about everything. You can prepare for it. What are we going to do to fix it? But if you can't do nothing to fix it, you're worried about the wrong stuff. Who's going to be the governor of whatever, or the senator in Georgia? Well, that matters because it changes the House. Does it matter? Does it really matter? I don't know. I don't think it does. Not to me. My paycheck ain't changing. Prices ain't going down anytime soon. So what's changing? What benefits us if the Democrats stay in power? What benefits us if the Republicans take power? Bob, it don't change my day a bit. I honestly am a bad American. I could care less. Am I bad? I guess so.
Bad girl.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me.
No, exactly.
There's nothing good going to come of it. Whoever wins, the other side is going to be a sore loser. Whoever wins, they're going to be sore winners. You know.
Well,
Now-
instead of we're so busy taking sides, how about instead of taking sides, how about let's pick the best idea and let's work
Right.
on the best idea wherever it comes from.
Democracy's on the ballot.
Yeah.
Quit with the cliche. You don't even know what you're saying. Democracy's on the ballot. Of course it is, jackwagon. That's the point. But we get ignorantly spun up about all these things. And like I was talking about earlier, women's right to choose what's best for them was on the ballot, not abortion. That's a medical procedure, right? When you look at it like a woman's right, it's an easier pill to swallow. It's easier to say, of course they have a right. But when you look at it in the other aspect, church gets involved, religion gets involved, all those things that are not supposed to get involved.
Right.
All people are created equal. If we are equal, I have no say over you. If I have no say over you, any medical procedure you want to get done, you can get done.
But that's why it should be written that way. And I think there's as much that goes in the way these things are written and the way they are convoluted. And when you actually get to go vote and you're voting for the words that are on the paper as they're written, not the concept and not whether or not. I mean, the concept could be boiled down into one sentence like you just did. But that's not the way it's on the ballot. It's got all these other ifs, ands, buts, and what fors. And now you have to try to figure out if what they're saying is what is what's really going down, or is it as simple as the one sentence,
I'm looking at this stuff about Trump running, and now it's Trump and Ron DeSantis, and we get spun up about all this stuff. Can't change it.
No, you can't change it, and you can react to it, and hopefully intelligently so as it develops. But until it happens, you can't worry about something until it happens.
Yeah, we're done with that. There's no middle ground anymore. That's not where the money is. We're at 9:06. All right, we are talking now about how we're going to how can we get happy again? How do we talk ourselves off of these cliffs all the time with social media being so prevalent in our lives? Even if I'm not on social media and then I'm in a social network of people, they're talking about stuff that's on social media. And so we're all around all this information. And I really believe ignorance can be bliss. We don't need to be so up to date on everything. That's one of our problems. We've got information at our fingertips. We used to not.
Right. Well, and like you said too, any of it, it's all going on, but how does it really affect you, and can you do anything about it? So even if you know everything and you're up to date on everything, what does it really matter?
And you got to choose that. And I know there's always them little things like for the LGBT community, the right to marry and be with your partner. If you're a Black American, the right to be treated like an American and not have to have the stigma of the past overriding everything. The equality, whether it's Black America, women in America, the equality, Asian in America, equal has no boundary. Right? There's legal to be here, right? You can't be an illegal alien and be in this country undocumented. We have rules against that. But the humane part is we're not going to execute you because you crossed our border looking for a better life. But you still can't go about it that way. You still got to go back home and go about it the right way, but we're not going to ruin your life about it.
Right. Well, there's a process that has been in place since basically, pretty much since the country was established as far as how to become, your citizenship and that. And there are tons of people that fight and do it the right way. You can't just walk in and say, hello, I'm here, look at me, take care of me. That's just not how we do it here. You can't do it that way.
They don't do it anywhere like that. That's not how it goes in an organized world. There's no open borders. I mean, and we're not getting into the border dispute and all that.
Right.
We're just simply stating, how do we stay happy? Worrying, for me, I'm in Michigan. We are on a border, but we don't really worry. There's drug busts and stuff all the time We don't even know about them. We live right here. I live 12 minutes from the bridge.
Yep.
You know, I mean, my life could be in danger with all this stuff, but I don't worry about it because it don't affect me. I'm not out buying pills. I'm not worried about fentanyl. You know why? I don't take pills. I'm not worried about my stuff being laced. Why? I don't have stuff.
Right.
I will never do cocaine laced with fentanyl. Why? I don't do cocaine. I'll never take a ecstasy pill laced with fentanyl. Why? I don't do ecstasy.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't mess with me unless you spike my drink with it.
Right.
But I don't allow my drink to be outside of my realm or the realm of someone I trust with my life.
True.
You know.
It's personal responsibility. Let's not even start with that.
Yeah, exactly. But we always use personal responsibility to preserve safety and security of ourselves and our family, right? We're always aware of our surroundings. We don't want to sit with our back to the restaurant wall. We always know where the exits are when we're in a big store or a mall. We're always secure conscious, right? We're always knowing, but we don't take that same tenacity toward our happiness. Everything that we do to secure ourselves and make sure our families are prepared for anything that could come chips away at your happiness because the innocence is gone.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just go sit down anymore in a mall and not be ready for anything to happen. So that chips away at your happiness.
Right. Well, and there's a big difference between being aware and being consumed by. I mean, aware,
True.
It's, you know that, certain things that could take place, and you can probably prevent a lot of it just by being aware. But if you put your entire focus into that, then yeah, there goes your happiness. How can you be happy when you're constantly looking over your shoulder and you're creating scenarios in your head that are likely not to occur? And
Exactly. And then you get paranoia, and I don't mean the level of going out and doing crazy things, but paranoia enough to throw you off of your happiness square. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about somebody who's so paranoid that they're locked in their house with guns and thinking that they got people coming after them. We're talking about what chips away at your happiness: family security, job security, finances. All those things chip away at your happiness.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, let me go on a limb here, and I apologize who I offend. Abortion should not be chipping away at your happiness. The right to an abortion should not be chipping away at your happiness. However, your right to choose what's best for you, that chips away at your happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not allowed to make that decision for yourself. And I know people are going, but it's the same thing. No, it's not.
No, it's different.
It's not. We're talking about the right for a woman to decide what's best for her. No matter, forget abortion, forget boob job, forget permanent makeup. We're not talking about anything. We're talking about the right for a woman to choose what's best for her. You ain't going to tell no man your balls got to come off. They're not going to do it. You're not going to tell no man anything like that. They're going to go, you don't have the right to tell me that.
Mm-hmm.
No. Well, then, same thing, flip side. But it gets convoluted. But these things chip away at our happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Working a job you don't like chips away at your happiness. But you do make the best of it, because the trade-off is, but they pay me well, but I have good benefits, my family's taken care of. So there's a trade-off, a little bit chipping away at your happiness, but at the same time, helping you secure a foundation for your family, which adds to the happiness. So there's always a trade-off. And when the trade-off doesn't work in your favor, then you have issues. You hate your job to the point where you're mistreating your family. You hate your job to the point that it's an attendance issue and finances are now a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to love what you do. Your relationship, you married the girl of your dreams, but now she's not the girl of your dreams, but yet you've got 2-3 kids and we're staying together for the kids. That chips away at your happiness. All these little tiny things that not only chip away at your happiness, but they take you further away from who you really truly are. We talked years ago about the titles and all of the things we become that takes us further away from who we are, right? You become student, you become worker, employee, you become mom or dad, you become brother or sister, you become all these things, and it chips away at who you are. And it's not always a good thing. We need to learn what it is, and everybody's different. Like for me, I love to be out in nature and all that, but I'm not a hunter, right? I'm not out there. I'm not an avid fisher person or anything like that. I will be fishing next year. Other people, they're homebodies. They want to sit on the couch with their dogs and watch movies, right? Eat some popcorn, look at videos and stuff like that on their phones and stuff. And that's their happiness. They're home. They're secure. They're not worried about anything. What's the chances of a home invasion? People don't always worry about that, depending on where you live. I mean, all these things. And then if you do live in an area that you worry about your safety, you think of what? Moving. Maybe we should move to a safer area. All these things help shape who we are. So when we get back, we're taking a quick break, 3 songs. We'll be back after 3 tunes. We're going to look into exactly where are the happiest places to live in America. We're talking America here. And how much does where you live affect your happiness? We're going to look into that. So a lot more to talk about coming up right here on Hot 93.97. Keep it locked. Ooh, it's a lot of talk.
Yeah, did we miss a break in there somewhere?
Yeah.
I thought we did.
Yeah. So we're on break now. We come back at 9:28.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. See you in a few. 9:28. I'll
9:28.
post it.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, welcome back. Oh, we're a minute away from getting back to it. And we got a hot topic. Oh, man, we have a hot topic. All these Bible thumpers are going to go crazy. Oh, yeah. We're still going to talk about getting happy, but first we're going to piss you off a little. What we do. Hurricane Nicole, now Tropical Storm Nicole, battering parts of Florida, flooding and all that. I still want to move there. Eventually, I got plans. I got career plans. Then I'll worry about moving. But I got to be where I got to be. Florida might not be it. You never know. That's what's nice about having a show. You can go remote. When we move to Florida, we can still do what we want to do.
Oh, yeah.
All right. All right. This story right here is enough to make a religious person rip their Bible pages apart. This changes everything, Bob.
Really? Do tell.
Oh, I'll tell. The documentary 1946, The Mistranslation That Shifted Culture, says the word homosexual is in the Bible by mistake. This explosive documentary is under attack. The documentary is called 1946, The Mistranslation That Shifted Culture, claims that one human error 75 years ago stoked decades of homophobia and hate. Yeah, there are certain walks of life that don't want us to see this. The first time the word homosexual appeared in the Bible was in 1946. That year, a committee gathered to translate an updated English version of the book from the Greek people. Religious scholars, priests, theologians, linguists, anthropologists, and activists have done decades of research and investigations into the instances where the word homosexual appears in the Bible. They all concluded one thing: it was a mistranslation. In other words, the biblical assertion that homosexuality is a sin, the catalyst for an entire shift in culture, political repercussions, religious implications, consequences for LGBT rights, acceptance, and deadly. All a mistake, a mistranslation, the misuse of a single word that changed the course of history.
Well, yeah.
It's a sin. It's in the
Apparently.
Bible. Oh, woe to thee! What's that? Woe to ye who interprets the Bible on their own. So 1946, The Mistranslation That Shifted Culture, is a new documentary directed by Sharon Roggio. Ahead of this premiere, it's gone viral within conservative and Christian communities. There's an uproar.
Yes. Well, there would be. See, the thing about the Bible is, isn't it just one big, gigantic interpretation anyway?
Yes.
I mean,
well, there's layers, right? Think about it.
Right.
We now realize the Bible has been translated many times over the centuries, and that human error has and may be involved in the process, right?
True.
So then you start saying, well, then what do we know for fact? And what do we not know for fact? So coming to terms with the notion that human error could be responsible for stoking homophobia, a mindset of hatred, oppression, and religious nationalism that has defined the last 75 years of American culture.
Interesting. So what happens if tomorrow, or today for that matter, it's decided that, you know what, this was a big misinterpretation, and this was never really spoken, in fact, and never mind, ignore, disregard. So now what does... we don't change people's minds at the flip of a switch, you know?
I mean, that's a good question.
I mean,
You can't
it's a
sue
what if.
people.
Yeah.
You can't, like, you can try to get
can't.
Alex Jones's lawyers to sit in on the case.
I was going to say, you could sue anybody, apparently.
Mm-hmm. But then you start going, well, what else is in there? It's a man-made book. And people argue about the validity of it and everything forever. So now they're saying it's all a mistake. But I've got to get to the part of what was the actual translation, right? What part, what did they mistranslate? So everybody's attacking the book or the documentary. The conservative audience, the atheist audience, LGBTQ people, but that have been hurt by the church, who have now left the church because they feel that we're subscribing to religious supremacy by even playing along with the dialogue, according to the author.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, 1946 takes a journalistic, academic approach to substantiating the claims of a mistranslation. They poured over thousands of documents, centuries of texts, not text messages, writings, Bible translations in many languages. And the experts in the film conclude that 2 Greek words were mistranslated to mean homosexual. One more accurately means effeminate. The other, a person who was a sexual abuser and who has harmed someone.
Well, that's, 2 totally different things.
Yeah. So the film is saying that after years after the translation mishap, the mistake was pointed out, the committee recognized it and attempted to correct it. But by the 70s, the implications of those verses had become widespread. By the time the AIDS arrived in the 80s, the mindset of homophobia, weaponized by the moral majority of our country, deemed AIDS was from what? A penance from God. That's what you get for being gay. Now all that's gone. Or is it?
Mm-hmm. Well, some of it will never be gone because, like,
oh yeah, people be like, I don't care.
Some people's,
I'm still hating them gays. I don't care. Oh.
You can present people with facts all day long. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So man messed up, not God.
Say it isn't so. Really?
Well, guess what? The premiere in New York City tomorrow, November 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Good.
It's one side to look at.
Bring it on. Yeah. Let's see what they have to say.
We're going to try to get somebody from Jesus's camp to interview. This could be an argument, right? There'll be people arguing this. This is going to turn into another one of those and chip away at your happiness, right?
Right.
So 1946 was the first time. So people are saying exactly what is this? So talking about a word, a medical term that has a connotation of a group of people that have an orientation as opposed to what the original Greek, Hebrew, and Arabic texts were referring to, which is an aggressor, someone, an abuser. There's always a victim on the other side of an abuser.
Right.
They
And an
recognized
orientation
the
is-
error, but it was too late.
We just put out another version with a correction. Have we been putting out new versions? You know,
The Bible, part 2.
well, there's different interpretations. There's different versions of the Bible. There's the King James. There's the, you know what I mean? So
know.
so that in itself, you know, it's all that's in the interpretation there. So this is why Sunday mornings, we know what we believe. We know what we think. We don't need to argue it with anyone.
Yeah. That's the beauty
We just
of
sit back,
America.
reflect.
We can all go do
Sure.
our thing, and you pray to your God, I pray to mine, and maybe you're an atheist. Maybe you go, man, you're all crazy. Think about it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's okay. There's no, shunning from the community of people that say, this is crazy. Now, there's a time and a place to denote or to denounce Jesus or whatever. I wouldn't do it in the Catholic Church. Don't go to the church if you don't believe in it, but don't go to church and then go, bull crap, when the priest says something. I call BS. No, just don't go.
Right. Start
Don't
your
be
own
part of
church.
the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Be your church of the non-believer and, you know, spew your stuff all day. Don't go stepping on other people's beliefs because you don't happen to share them.
Here's a story. 1987. August, September of 1987. This girl was at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas for boot camp. We looked forward to Sunday mornings to go to church, even if you didn't go to church at home. You found a religion.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were Catholic, you obviously were allowed to go to church, and you'd go on Sunday morning, and you didn't have to be around the drill instructors, and nobody bothered you and harassed you, and you had an hour or so of normalcy and peace, and you could sit in there, pray, think. It was quiet. But then we found out that the Pentecostal church had snacks. M&Ms, Pepsi. They had vending machines in the church. So the Pentecostal church in Lackland Air Force Base in August and September of 1987, there were a ton of Pentecostals going through the military at that time, freshly converted. And the drill instructors knew this. So they always not harassed, but a little bit of something extra for the ones going to the Pentecostal service, because your dog tags say Roman Catholic, puke. But there you are, marching your happy ass over to the peanut gallery, literally. Peanut M&Ms and a Pepsi every Sunday morning right here. Praise Jesus.
Breakfast. Two things at once. Going to the church breakfast now. I'm taking my dollar and quarters, right?
But before we get too far away, I want to say one thing about veterans, and I want to say one thing about military service. It's not for everybody. But if you're one of those people in that group of, I don't want to go to college, I don't want to go through all the core classes and everything, I just want to learn something. Maybe you want to be an airplane mechanic. You could go to school for it, or the military can pay you to go to school for it.
Mm-hmm.
The military is a good option for people if it's an option for people. Not everybody wants to go in the military, but it's a good way of life, and it's an honorable way to make a living. You get to see and do things you wouldn't get to do in a normal world, right? You get to travel. Now, be careful. You could get a job like my brother, Tim, was an Air Force in-flight refueler. You don't get out of the military and go get a job refueling airplanes in the air. I was an aircraft loadmaster I scheduled and planned all the weight and balance and I supervised loading and unloading of the airplane when the come out, the people that would do all the transportation.
Okay.
They would load the airplane where we told them to load it for weight and balance purposes. You can get those jobs in the civilian world, but it's not in the civilian capacity. Like, you're not going to go work for Delta as a boom operator, in-flight refueler.
Mm-hmm.
You might be a load planner. You might be like in FedEx, they have load masters and stuff like that, Federal Express and all them. But it's not a general job you get outside in the civilian world. You've got to be careful going in the military that you choose a job that you're going to want to do, that when you get out, you're not just 4 years older, you're 4 years smarter with a tool belt set to go. There's a lot of ways to go about being in the military, and it is an extra duty. There is them extra laws you got to follow. It's part of the deal. It sucks in a way, but it's the way it is. But it's a good way of life. So on Veterans Day, and with recruiting down a lot in America for Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, it's important for young people to at least be able to look into it and see. I know it changed. My older brother was a perfect example. He was working at a gas station. He was happy working part-time. He was going to work maybe 40 hours a week somewhere. He was fine with that, but he was going nowhere. And my parents were on his butt a little bit, and they said, you either go to school, go to the military, or do something. And he got an attitude about it. And he went to recruiter, came home that day, threw the papers on the table, and I'm leaving. I'm going to the military. Out of nowhere, we weren't a military family. He joined the Air Force. Best movie ever made. Met his wife in Guam. Got a wonderful family. Lives in New Jersey. Just everything that he's got is because of his hard work and his support system at home with his wife and family. But it's because he made that decision to go join the military. You know, best decision I ever made. Joined the Air Force. I was 19 years old. Best decision, one of the best decisions I made, you know.
Sure.
I
think if you're, well, yeah, and especially if you're in a position where you don't really have a particular drive or passion for any particular, I don't want to say you're lost or floundering, but you're just kind of undecided and nothing really, rocks your boat, then it's something that gives you, when you go in, you've got a certain structure, you're going to learn certain things, and it might point you in a direction that you weren't thinking about prior.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll certainly have discipline to make sure that you accomplish things.
I'll tell you, that's one of the best things about it, the discipline you learn. And the confidence you gain, you can get through it. You can do it.
Oh, for sure. And that's part of, again, if you don't really have a drive or a focus in a particular direction, then, I mean, one can say that you're undisciplined as far as career, as far as general, what are you going to do with your life kind of thing, other than just float around.
And let's face it, at that age, that's what you're supposed to be doing. I mean, everybody thinks they know what they want to do when they're 19, but things change. So
sure,
it's a good thing to have. It's not for everybody.
No, but I also think, too, that it also helps you find your best self, your skills, what you're good at, what you're not good at. I'm sure I never joined, but I'm sure that if you're there and you're in a particular function and it's not working out for anybody, you will get it will work out for you, or what, a direction you can get pointed into and be successful.
Well, it's like a civilian job.
Right.
You may be a hard worker. You show up every day, you do what you're supposed to do, and the job's just not for you. So instead of losing you, they go, let's find where you fit in. Let's find a place for you because we want you on this winning team. You're going to help us win. And
we know you have talent. We know it's not this, maybe it's this. And if you don't know that about yourself, then you're learning, you're learning about yourself and how to be your best self too. So,
I wanted to be on a flight crew. I couldn't at first. I was a fuelie. I would go out and refuel the airplanes when they came in. I was stationed at Loring, Maine. Loved it. I was by the airplanes still. I was refueling them. I got to be out on the flight line. It was pretty cool. I learned a lot. I could go now. I couldn't now. I don't have the experience. It's been so long, but I was able to go work at a bulk storage facility or an airport refueling airplanes or whatever. But it's just not for me. I wanted to fly. I wanted to be on a flight crew, and I cross-trained because I was eligible, because I continued to work hard toward my goals and being part of the winning team, being positive moving forward. Then I got to where I wanted to be when the time was right. And you may go in any job, you may go in with your sights set on something, and then you fall in love with the other part of it. So you go in the military and you're going, all right, well, I want to be a pilot, but I also want to be a very knowledgeable pilot. So I don't have my bachelor degree yet. I'm going to go in as an aircraft mechanic and learn about the aircraft. I'm going to get my degree. Then I'm going to apply to be a pilot. If you do everything that you're supposed to do, they will want you as a pilot. And that is for any walk of life. You know, maybe you want to be an on-air talk show host. Maybe you want to be a news anchor. Maybe you want to be a broadcaster for football for a sports center. You're not going to start there. But maybe, just maybe, when you get your foot in the door, maybe you're starting off, you want to be the on-air person for the Monday Night Football. So when you start working, you're editing stuff in the truck. And you work your way up. And then you end up going, wait a minute, I love this part of it. I don't even want to be on air no more. I love what I'm doing here. Same with the military. Fun, yeah, you might end up going, you know what? I don't want to fly the plane no more. I love working on them. You never know what you can fall into.
True.
You know.
True.
And that can add to your happiness.
Well, and attitude is everything, too. You can't walk in somewhere thinking you want to be something, and because you want to be that pilot or whatever, that somehow it's owed you, and okay, I want it, so give it to me. I mean, you have to earn it. You have to learn things. You have to do rules. Yeah, sorry, you do. You don't get to make the rules yet. You're not in that position. But you follow the rules. You do the right things. You accept that as your training and such, and you'll get there. And then you can be the one that makes the rules if all goes well, and you follow the right path and you do things the right way. You can't walk around with your chip on your shoulder your whole life going, well, they owe me, or, you know, I want this. There's no reason. Why aren't they letting me? You know, well, that's maybe the wrong attitude. Maybe that's why they're not letting you. Yes.
It's a beautiful thing when it works out where you want me and I want you. And we have a relationship, a work relationship where you help me and I help you. That's the best right there. You know, achieving
Absolutely.
that. All right. What do you want first? The best 10 or the worst 10 places to live? Happiest wise. Where do you want to live to be happy? Want to start with the unhappy or the happy?
Well, if we start, we can tell the unhappy people where to go to get happy. So maybe we should do that.
The top 10 worst places to live as far as states go in America. Going from 41 to 50. So the bottom 10. The 41st worst, Missouri. Then New Mexico. Then Tennessee. Missouri scored 45.38 of the level of happiness, knowing the top score is in the high 60s.
Okay.
So Missouri scored 45.38. New Mexico, Tennessee, Oklahoma, 40 points. Mississippi, Alabama, Kentucky, Arkansas, Louisiana, the worst state to live in, West Virginia, scoring a whopping 33.83 in the happiness meter.
Wow.
Now, the best places to live, top 10 best places, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, noting that they're all pretty much in the South, or, I mean, in the case of West Virginia, a little more north, but still, everything is to the south. And I wonder what criteria? Correlation is. Yeah, what's the correlation? I don't know.
Okay, so West Virginia, it says they rank last: emotional, physical well-being, work environment, and community environment is the criteria.
Okay.
The best places to live, starting at the 10th best. So, Connecticut, Nebraska, Illinois, California, Idaho, New Jersey, Utah. Now the top 3. You ready? Any guesses? Number 3.
Hawaii.
It's in the top 3.
Okay.
Got Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Got Maryland. Okay. And number 1, Hawaii. Hawaii scored a 66.31. 4 points higher than Maryland. It was number 2. So
it
Hawaii
seems like it's a very carefree kind of. Everything moves at a relaxed pace.
Yeah, but if you're not from there, I heard they're snobby.
Well, I'm confident that, and you can pretty well be identified too as to whether you're from there or not. I mean, pretty quickly. But again, on the other hand, if you go somewhere and you're going to make that your home, well, at what point are you from there? Is it 10 years? Do you earn your? I've been here 10 years, so now I'm from here.
Right. True. At what point? Suicide rate. New Jersey ranked the lowest in suicide rate. Wyoming ranked the highest.
Weird.
Utah works the fewest hours. Alaska works the most.
I can see that about Alaska. And I guess, and again, I've never been there. I don't know it. I certainly haven't lived there. But it seems like from what you see in here, there's not a whole lot going on there. You might as well work.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, depending, what time of year.
And especially if you like your job,
Believe it or not, Utah has the lowest divorce rate in the nation. Nevada has the highest. Well, you can imagine that, but it also has the most unplanned drunk marriages. Also,
right.
So.
Right. It's one of the only places you go there single, you get married, and then you get divorced and leave there single.
Right. It's like, why would you do all that?
But it all counts on the scorecard. So
drunken stupor.
Yes.
So all those things play into our happiness, but a lot of it has to do with you. If you're living in a place that doesn't suit you, we do have the beauty to be able to move around the country. It ain't always easy, but not things that make us happy are not always easy.
And you do that, you might want to do that just to sample different places. You don't know what you don't gotta go for,
Yeah. And that's why the military is a good option for a young person who maybe wants to travel a little bit. It gives you a secure way to be on your own. You can literally move out. You've got a meal card, so you got an ID that you don't even pay for food. You got a place to live. Right. You got all the food you want. Literally, all your money is yours, and it's up to you to make it happen the right way. I got 2 songs going at once. It's amazing. Good work, Mary. Oh Lord, I had both going at one time, and I'm sure they weren't in unison, so it was probably a mess. We got a word of the day before we get out of here for the weekend?
I do, and I just now came across this one, and you could probably help us out with this. It's a military word. The word is agger. Agger, A-G-G-E-R. It says artificial mound or elevation for military use.
I got a couple of eggers on me right now.
Are they used by the military?
Oh, only in the ready room after the beers start flowing. Oh, those must be for like when you're trying to hide behind them for gunfire and stuff, for protection.
It sounds like that, or for training maybe of some kind. I don't know. It says artificial, so it could be that it's like a training structure or something.
Yeah, we know about artificial things here.
Well,
Oh,
they ain't all bad. What did you just do? Something went
you still
askew.
there? Ah, there we go.
I'm still here. Something went askew.
Yeah, I pulled my cord out.
Well, put it back.
Yeah. The umbilical cord popped out. I got to tuck it back in there real quick.
Put that back.
All right, that does it for us today. Thank you for letting us in your house, car, wherever you were listening. We appreciate it very much. And remember, well, we'll get back to the election results Monday if they're in. We know they're going to be a big runoff in Georgia. What a mess! I don't like election week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the answer, but I don't like it. It's too new for me.
No.
But we'll see.
Well, it always seems. Yeah, it used to run a lot cleaner. It seems. It's much messier these days.
It is a lot messier. But all right, that does it for us. Remember, opinions are a dime a dozen. Validation is for parking, and loyalty is not just a word; it's a lifestyle. Life is too short to put your key to happiness in someone else's pocket. And in a world where we can be anything, be kind. A kind word and or a friendly smile can go a long way. You might even save someone's life. You could be standing in line next to somebody at the end of their rope, and all you got to do is give them a smile, and it could save them. Hanging on for the next day. All right, I'm Sapphire Pates.
I'm just Bob.
We're out of here. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you Monday morning. Bye-bye. That worked out nice. Done. Look at that. All right.
There you go.
Ooh. Come again?
I said, there you go.
Here we go. All right, everybody. That concludes this episode of What the Hell Did We Just Watch? Thanks for watching.
Thanks for hanging in with us. Yes.
But I thought it was a good show today. We had a lot to talk about. You know, I mean, Veterans Day. All right, we're out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. And we will see you Monday on the flip side as the